Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Precious and thank you so much for coming back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, I am Precious. I'm a South African and I live in Tokyo, Japan. Here on my channel, I document my daily life through vlogs in Japan, in Tokyo, what I do, and my life generally. I also talk about the JET program, and I've recently started a series for South Africans abroad, South Africans like myself, especially black people or black women, black men who are just traveling abroad and doing whatever they're doing as long as they are living their best lives, trying to capture their journey. So her name is Kay and she lives in Dubai right now. And I mean, guys, when you think of Dubai, you think of the Burj Khalifa, you think of luxury, you think of shopping, you think of vacation, you think of all of these glitz and glamour and like jet skis and cruises and just lovely rich dripping wealth, right? And you also think of other things, but that's not why we are here. Okay, Kay is teaching in Dubai, so she's doing ESL, right? And I feel like I've covered a lot of people who are doing ESL in Japan through myself, through the JET program, ESL in South Korea through EPIC program, ESL in China through other like agencies or companies, and now I'm going to kind of discover the life of an ESL teacher in Dubai, right, through Kay. So if that's what you want to hear about, how being a teacher is in Dubai, how she's living her life as a South African in Dubai, the culture, everything else, please stick with us and subscribe and like, and hopefully you will enjoy this and learn something from it. So, alright, first things first, Kay, hello, welcome. Please introduce yourself and where in South Africa are you from?
Hey P, thanks for having me. My name is Kinsani, also known as K Unfiltered. I grew up in Johannesburg, in the south of Johannesburg, and I moved to the north of Johannesburg straight after my studies. I'm currently a teacher at an international school in the UAE.
So, Kay, since you are a teacher in Dubai, right? How did you make the transition from working, or were you working in South Africa as a teacher already? So how did you make the transition from teaching in South Africa to now teaching in Dubai?
I believe that this particular role found me. I was happily teaching at one of the really good schools in Rosebank in SA when I was approached by a recruiter on LinkedIn. So, I wasn't thinking about moving abroad or anything at that time, but I went through the application process and it fell through in the end. But then, I didn't let that get me down. I started applying on my own. I was like, maybe this is something that I need to do. This was a wake-up call to say, you need to get out of your comfort zone and try something new. So then I started looking at sites where I could apply for jobs in the UAE, and that's how I landed this job. It was under panic, it was under pressure because I had left my job. I needed to give a notice, and during that time I started applying for jobs at different places. That recruiter was gone. I had left my job with nothing, but in the end I landed this job, and I'm just grateful that I'm here.
So, Kay, with what you are doing right now, the application process easy, and also how long did it take? Because my JET application program to move from South Africa to Tokyo was really long. You need lots of paperwork, you need criminal records, you need reference letters, you need to just fill an application, you need to do medical examinations, you need to do so many things. So I'm curious to know about your process. Was it easy, and also how long did it take?
So the application to interview to offer process does not take quite long. So this will take like a week. But the real long process is the documentation and getting your degree attested, because it needs to go through SACA, then DECO, then finally the UAE embassy, which will complete the attestation. That really takes a while, but everything else, once you've sorted the attestation process and once you have all your documents ready, does not really take a long time. I've actually uploaded a video on my YouTube channel which details this process further.
I feel like in the ESL streets, right, money is a really important factor. Money is a really important factor to kind of decide where you want to go teach. Do you want to go teach in Japan, South Korea, China, Taiwan, or Dubai? And I don't know, I have a hunch that Dubai is where the money is at. Is Dubai where the money is at? So how much do you get paid? I ask because for me personally, and with what I've seen from the other teachers, like the teachers in South Korea and the teachers in China, I feel like the JET program is really, like, in terms of pay, it's not that great. And so I feel like when you are making your decision to move abroad or like where to teach, just keep that in mind. And if money is your top priority, please keep these things in mind. So okay, is Dubai where the money is at? How much do you get paid?
So teachers here get paid between 9,000 to 16,000 dirhams. You just need to be able to work around your finances really well, because cost of living here is quite expensive. The nice thing about it though is that the salary is tax-free, so you receive your salary as it is and you're able to plan on fully on the salary that you get. However, things can get tricky when you are here. You know, like the big cities, for example, Abu Dhabi and Dubai, tend to pay less, and that give you like a lower amount for your accommodation compared to actually giving you like the school's accommodation. So there's those two options as well, and you need to pick quite clearly. You need to pick really well when it comes to those two, because you know there are pros and cons for, you know, choosing to have the school's accommodation or choosing to have some money to get your own accommodation. I've actually done a video on my YouTube channel, an extensive one about costs and, you know, the difference between the two when you do receive an offer in the UAE. However, you know, cost of living outside of the big cities is quite reasonable. I mean, I'm able to, you know, put aside some money for my personal investments, as well as send money home, and I'm able to live comfortably. Like I can get, you know, stuff that I want. You know, I'm buying things cash instead of getting them on credit, and it's better compared to home. I mean, I'm feeling that I'm able to manage my finances better now that I'm here compared to when I was back in SA. So this will differ for a lot of people, of course, because it depends on why you are here. And trust me, like, life here is quick, it's fast, expensive, and you can get caught in all of that, you know, if you don't come here with a plan. So my advice to you would be come to the UAE with a plan, you know, because at the end of the day, it's not a place where you can live forever, because things change quite quickly in the Middle East.
So I want to ask, as a South African woman living in Dubai, you know, like a world-class city with luxurious shopping and modern architecture, living in Dubai, a city of luxury, a city of like designer shopping, a city of modern architecture and an amazing nightlife, do you think it's a good place to live, not permanently, but do you think it's a good place to settle as a South African woman living abroad? Do you think Dubai is a place where you can make your home?
As I mentioned in my previous point, Dubai is certainly not a place where you can live for a really long time. I don't see it as a place where you could settle. A lot of people come and go here. People are looking, just to make a big buck and move back to their countries. And a lot of people ask me whether I would return to South Africa or not. And trust me, I always tell them that South Africa will always be home. It feels homely. The UAE to a lot of people is not home, and it's hostile. It can get lonely, and outside of everything else, property here is expensive, and it's quite difficult for you to get citizenship here. You can live for 5, you can live for 10 years, you can work here for the longest period of time, but you would still not be able to get the benefits that the citizens get. You can't get citizenship. Residency, when it comes to residency, you have to renew your ID, your Emirates ID, every 2 years. And that depends on your workplace. So that's another thing. There is no job security in the Middle East, particularly in the UAE. Companies can just choose to let go of you with no explanation. And for you to be able to stay in the country, you do require sponsorship from a company. So you want to just keep that in mind as well when coming here. And if that company decides to end your contract after 2 years, because they give out 2-year contracts, it means that you'll be given like a certain period of time just to leave the country. It's not easy. It's not a place where you can stay for a long time. Your life here, your living here, your money here literally depends on someone else. It depends on the company that is sponsoring your visa in this country.
Because not many people know what it's like to actually live in Dubai. How do you feel homesick? Like, do you ever feel homesick, and how do you overcome that? I guess you can just like catch a flight back home, but like for you, how do you deal with feeling homesick?
So I do think about home every now and again. I miss home actually. It hasn't even been a year, but I miss home. Luckily, I was able to bring my mother over for the holidays. But a lot of people here go home. Your company gets you a flight, every year. So you get like a return flight so that you could go back home and visit your home country. People here are not exactly as homely as they are back in South Africa. Every now and again you're like, do I really want to go out? And it's hot, the weather is not great, it's not good for being active. I haven't been active since being here because of how hot it is. I tried going out to the beach at night, but it's still hot. So if I had to choose whether to stay here forever or to pack my bags and go back to SA, I would certainly choose SA. I would choose like SA over and over again. But besides all of that, life is good here. Like I mentioned previously, you get a really good salary where you are able to do a lot of the things that I couldn't do, even though I was like at a good paying private school in South Africa.
So this is very interesting, and I'm always, since moving abroad, have you seen a change in yourself? Have you changed? So has living in Dubai as a South African had a positive impact or a negative impact in your life and how you see life and just how you go about life right now?
Since moving here, my perspective of the UAE has certainly changed. Of Dubai as well has changed. I mean, it's not everything that you see on social media. Not everything is as it is portrayed by all the people that are on YouTube, on Instagram. Life is different as a resident in the UAE, compared to when you're a visitor. If you want to come here for like 5 to 7 days, or to spend like a week here, that's all good, that's all fun. But realities of living here, and the realities of actually working here and seeing how people actually struggle. I mean, every time I go to Dubai, I'm actually baffled by the people that are there, that are working day to day, and how they are just trying to make means. They're not thinking about the 7-star hotels. They're not thinking about going to these beach clubs that cost millions and millions. People are just here to look after their families, and exploitation is real. You are under your employer, and your employer certainly has your life. I mean, it's like you don't have that freedom, basically, because at a blink of an eye, all of it can go away. You're living by day, thinking about those possibilities. I mean, I see it in my workplace every now and again. Like, people actually lose their jobs overnight. People that have moved here with their families, can you imagine, like, losing all of that and having to go back to their home countries? So it is the realities of being here. Yes, there's, the good side, the living the life, the glitz and glam of Dubai, but it's not like that every day. It's not like that on a daily basis. Every now and again, you can, go into that life, but at the end of the day, living here and working here is totally different from actually just coming here for holiday.
Okay, so I want to know, would you recommend someone to come and teach English in Dubai? Someone back home, would you recommend Dubai for teaching ESL?
I would 100% recommend the UAE or teaching in Dubai for anyone who's looking to teach abroad. Like I've mentioned, there's a tax-free salary, and there's a large community of expats. So, you can get to know people from all around the world, and you can share experiences, like you're not the only one who is foreign in this country. There's actually a whole lot of other people, who are new just as yourself, but don't count on friendships, because people come and go here. But if you are, looking to save up, if you are looking to build for yourself, if you're looking to invest in something, then you can certainly come to the UAE, and you can come teach here. The teaching conditions aren't bad at all. They're quite similar to South Africa, and the working hours are the same as well. There are places where schools are high stress environments, and the schools where there's not a lot of pressure on what you need to do. As long as you show up and you are there on a day-to-day basis and you get things done, you don't have to worry about anything else. You have your weekends to yourself, so no coaching or stuff like that, compared to some of the private schools in South Africa. So life here is quite good. I would certainly recommend it, especially the holidays, guys. That's also the best thing about being here, is that you get those religious holidays you know, you get shorter working days, for example, on Ramadan, and like Fridays are like short days for everyone because Fridays here are family days where they go out and they pray. So yeah, if you want to come teach here, certainly do it, go for it. You won't regret it. I mean, it'll be an experience, yes, but you are not going to regret coming here.
Thank you so much, but please plug your social media. Where can we find you if people want to connect with you, if people want to find out more about your life overseas?
To follow my journey as a South African teaching in the UAE, do follow me on at K Unfiltered on Instagram. And if you are looking for some tips on how you can set yourself up for success when it comes to teaching abroad, and especially in the UAE, then do subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's K Unfiltered. Thank you so much for having me. It was lovely chatting to all of you.
Alright, Kay, thank you so much for agreeing. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much. Guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please comment down below your thoughts and other suggestions as well for South African women, South African guys living abroad and doing their best lives. Anyone that you know and anyone that you would love to hear their story, their journey, anything that's interesting and also helpful, right? Thank you so much for riding with me. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next